In this presentation, we will record a transaction for the return of a deposit within QuickBooks Pro, QuickBooks Desktop. Here we are in our QuickBooks file. We currently have the open windows open. You can open the open windows by going to the View dropdown and selecting the open windows list. Let's first take a look at Excel to see what our objective will be. Returning a deposit. So we're on this number 4. Within number 4, it says the net deposit returned to student is $10. So we could have a deposit for multiple different types of reasons that a student might have to provide a deposit for us. We would use that or treat that in a similar fashion as a for-profit type of organization. So we might be familiar with a deposit in something like a rental type of organization where they might say in order to rent something, we want a deposit down of some kind. That would mean cash would be going up. And then they would credit a liability account because it wouldn't be revenue, so they couldn't credit revenue, a deposit type of account. Then if they had to return that deposit then to the person who gave it to them, the customer, or in our case, the student, then they would have to decrease the liability and reduce the cash account. So that's what we're going to be doing here, reducing the cash account and reducing the liability. We're going to be calling that deposit then deposit held in custody for others. That's a liability account, means that in the past at some point we got cash from students, in this case we're going to say, and we couldn't record revenue. It's some type of deposit. We needed a deposit for some reason for the student. Now we're going to be returning a portion of that deposit. So that means that we're going to be decreasing this liability and paying the cash, therefore of course decreasing cash. From a journal entry standpoint, it would look like this. To record this, let's see what that would look like. We're going to go to the deposit up top, and we're going to say the deposit held for the custody of others equals, that's going to be the $10 debit, decreasing that amount from 718 to 708. Then we have the cash and cash equivalents. That's going to be up top. We are in R3 equals, scrolling back down. We will then pick up the credit to cash of the $10, enter. There we have that, decreasing that amount. That, of course, will put us back in balance down below. Now let's record it into the QuickBooks. If we go back to QuickBooks, then the best way to do that, obviously, we're writing a check or cash is going down, so we can write a check for it. So I'm going to write a check, and I'm going to say that this is going to be to the student. So I'm going to say this is in the checking account first, in the checking account. And then the date, let's put the date here as the 19th. It's going to be going to student. Let's make it student 3. Student number 3. That would be their name there. I'm going to quick add. It's going to be this should be a customer because it's generally a customer, a student customer here, even though we're paying them out this time for deposit received in the past. And note, obviously, it probably in practice would be someone that a student had already been set up because we would have to collect the deposit, probably have them on record, of course, from the tuition as being a student. Then we're going to say it's the $10. That's going to be decreasing the checking account. The expense account that will be affected then is going to be our liability account that we just looked up top. That's going to be the other current liability, deposit held in custody for other. Deposit held in custody for other. The class doesn't really matter because it's not going to be a profit and loss type of item, but we can choose the class as unrestricted. So what's this going to do? Checking account's going to be decreasing by that amount because we're writing a check. The other side decreasing a liability, that being the deposit held in custody for others. So we're going to say save and close and yes. Then we can take a look at the reports. We're going to go to the reports dropdown. We're going to go to the accounting and taxes, take a look at our trustee trial balance. Trustee trial balance, changing the date up top from 01/01/20 to 12/31/20, January through December 2020. Then we're going to say that the checking account will be going down. Let's increase the font size. If I go to the customized reports up top, fonts and numbers, change the font, make it number 11 size, okay. Yes, and okay. Then we can go into the checking account, double click in the checking account. There's our $10 decrease for our check that we wrote, closing this back out. The other side then go into the liability account. If we go into the liability account, is going to be the deposit held in custody of other. Double clicking the 708, there's our negative amount. They're decreasing that amount. If we find this, these are two balance sheet accounts, so it might be useful to look at the balance sheet here. If we go to the reports up top, company and financial, down to the balance sheet standard report, changing the dates up top, let's change them actually in the customized reports. This will give us a range so that when we use the zoom feature, we'll have a range. So I'm going to go to customized reports, change the date range from 01/20 to 12/31/20, January through December 2020. Okay. Let's change the font size, go into the customized report, fonts and numbers. We'll change the font size, change it to number 11. Okay, yes, and okay. So there we have the checking account up top. There's the 215,776. Double clicking on that, those are $10. Closing this back out. If we then go back down to the and you could think of this in thousands or something like that. And it was $10 is a small amount, but if the concept would be the same no matter the dollar amount. If we go down to the deposit held in custody of others, you'll see it's a liability type of account. And then if we select that item, the other side being to the deposit, decreasing that 718 by 10 to 708, closing this back out.